Okay.
Welcome back. It was so nice meeting with you guys last time and being able to work with you to establish a brand platform. We're really excited to show you our ideas. I'm Paul.
I'm Karan. And I am Ben.
So for this, we decided to come up with a sort of unique event that is catered to the group of individuals that you're trying to hit, the younger community, while still being inviting, and we call that the Crossroads Creative Bash. Now, you might be asking what the Crossroads Creative Bash is, and it's an art event set not as formally as your open houses, but more tailgate style, towards potentially a younger crowd. There would be things such as food, beer, and then temporary displays by local artists that really need you guys' experience and guidance in getting their foot through the door.
So I want to talk a little bit about what this person looks like that we are trying to market to. So I want to start out by asking, have you guys ever been to a music festival like Bonnaroo, Coachella, something like that? So I went to Bonnaroo 2 years ago, and it was an incredible experience. It was my first time going, but it was a little bit overwhelming, and something that really helped with that was my good buddy Mark that I went with. So Mark he was around my age at the time, so he was 22. He was a young artist. He worked as a valet, but he knew he didn't want to be a valet forever. He worked as much as he could on his art to try to get his name out there, but he was still a little unsure of how to do it. He didn't really know how to go about doing that. And I remember that when we first came to Bonnaroo, I was trying to set up our camp, and he was just walking around talking to all of our neighbors. And at the time I was thinking, like, who is this guy? Why isn't he helping us set up our camp? But he ended up talking to two of our neighbors that were behind us, and that ended up working in our favor, because for the next 4 days, those neighbors woke us up every morning with oranges, bottled water, snacks. You know, always made sure we knew where we were going, what we were doing, we were hydrated. So that, it definitely helped in our favor that he decided not to just focus on himself, but kind of just make friends with the people around us and kind of establish a little community in our little group of where we were at. So I remember Mark talking so much about what he wants, what's he trying to do with his life, what he's trying to accomplish, where he wants to go. I ended up talking about my dreams, and we realized that at this age where we're at, it's just so unsure of where we should go, especially when we're pursuing something like the music or the arts. And we kind of figured that having a mentorship program or having someone kind of guide us along our way would be for the best, instead of having to just fend for ourselves. And having us feel like we're part of a community helps in pushing our goals rather than paving the way ourselves. So I want to play really quickly. I want to play this voicemail that he left me on the second night when we got split up. And I hope that you'll get a better feel for who he is after listening to this.
Okay, I'm bleeding. My hand's all bloody. I don't know what to do with my hand. I can't understand, but it's bloody. And I'm just laying here in the street, and I hope for the best. I miss my friends. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're good. I'm not just tired.
Now this man was sober when he did that. He just thought he was being funny. And I think that's awesome that he has that kind of personality. We got split up for an hour, and I ended up finding him just dancing in a yard next to the middle stage. So everything ended up for the best. Nothing happened to him. So that kind of gives you an idea of who he is. And this is some of the art that he makes. And I think it's awesome. I think it's beautiful. This one's my favorite. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff he makes. It's awesome. The thing is, he doesn't know how to market himself. He doesn't know how to go about this path, you know, pursuing art. Last but not least, I want to show you the only picture I have of him on my phone. So that's Mark. Now, why am I telling you all about this? That's because I'm trying to paint a picture in your head of who we're trying to market to. Mark, the young artist who may be unsure in his life about where he wants to go, how to do it, he doesn't maybe feel yet like he's part of a bigger community, but he wants to feel like he's a part of something bigger. So that's the thing about the young artists. They're a little bit different than other artists because they feel like they're not established enough to pursue it full time, and there's no real way to go about this game, so everything is just an unsure step for them. We feel like marketing to the young artists first rather than an audience acts as sort of a mentorship program to them first, because we're helping them guide themselves along their journey. We're just nudging them in the right direction, and we want to make them see that they are able to make all their dreams a reality if they so choose. So we're not worried about attracting the audience. We're worried about attracting the artists, the younger artists, and getting them excited about this idea. Because like the saying goes, if you build it, they will come. The community wants to have something to go behind. And now tying back to Bonnaroo again, music festivals are more than just the music. It's about the community. It's about building and sharing experiences with other people. It's about making memories. It's about feeling like you're a part of something bigger. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make these young artists feel like they're a part of a bigger, thriving organism, and they don't need to go about this journey on their own. We want to make them feel like they never have to put art second in their lives to something else.
So what do we have for you in order to help you kind of successfully partake in this wonderful journey that they've kind of laid out? We got flyers. So yes, flyers can be kind of bland, boring, and sometimes they just look out of place. What I've done is tried to format something that breaks an easy message to anyone that comes into contact with it. There's not a ton of information on it. And it works in two ways. It's effective for artists like we're aiming for, but also for people that might just be passing it by and wondering what it's about. Now, out of curiosity, my girlfriend doesn't know that I was working on this project, and neither did my mom. There are two immediate subjects. Maybe there's bias there, maybe there isn't. The world will never know. But I sent this to them, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Not giving them any background information. And my mom has actually, I think, purchased things from Crossroads before, so she was like, oh, you should submit your stuff. Maybe you could go be a part of this. And my girlfriend was like, when is it? Let's go. Like, let's make this happen. And I had not given them any information whatsoever. My girlfriend's never been to Crossroads, but she was curious about it. She likes art and stuff like this, and she thought it'd be something cool to do. And I made it really simple, logo-wise, the food truck, art, beer, that stuff comes self-explanatory. The only two things that would be additions would be a link as far as, crossroadsartcenter.com/creative bash for registration or whatever it might be, as well as a time. But they're easy to format, easy to change. You can, if you wanted to put a different subject matter background to kind of theme these events, it'd be really easy to do. They're also very easy to format for other applications. These two are Facebook event banners. It can also be used as Instagram posts, whatever it might be. These all can be just essentially transformed into multiple applications for whichever media outlets we're going for, as well as print. So the last one, because we got more social media stuff, and yes, this looks lengthy. It's a direct message. The way that we see this working, and I can kind of relate to this on a personal level, this one's a Facebook message. You could do Instagram, you could do LinkedIn, email if you want to. But from personal experience, when I was a senior in high school, I actually had a really cool opportunity to showcase some of my pieces at the Visual Arts Studio off Broad Street with Anne. And the way that she actually reached out to me was through Facebook Messenger, because my teacher at the time had gotten in contact with her. And I was stoked. Because anytime, young artists that might not have a lot of exposure see any sort of contact from art center, gallery, whatever it is, I don't know about them. I'm going to read it because I'm curious as to what it contains. So from a personal, it really works. I had my family behind me. They were going to her gallery to check this stuff out. My mom bought a piece from her. I had a lot of extended friends come check my stuff out because I could say, look, this is my stuff. It's here. It's in an environment where there's lots of people. And it felt really good. So it's like what he was saying. It's awesome exposure for people that may not have, that experience very often. So to summarize, the tailgate's for artists. Yeah, it works as well as a showcase for people as well, but what we want is to give people a chance for exposure in a short spurt so it doesn't weigh heavy on your daily routine, your other things, your other events. It's just simple, it's a great environment, it's positive, and it brings in a slightly younger audience. So to conclude, do you all have any questions?
How do we reach that slightly younger audience?
Through, I mean, basically, so the direct message is a really good place to do it, the flyers as well. So what we were thinking was VCU is a great place to start. There is a little bit of footwork that's probably going to have to be done behind it. As far as getting those flyers up, community boards, VCU, stuff like that. They're relatively colorful, so I feel like they're eye-grabbing. But the direct message approach was one that I thought was relatively easy. There's tons of artists in Richmond that are really heavy on the social media side. Just shooting them that, spamming it to honestly as many people as you could possibly find. There's bound to be people that would gladly want to take advantage of it.
Reddit's also another great option besides social media. There are a lot of subreddits for more underground art communities. Richmond has its own art community. Richmond Art, VCU has its own community.
So those would be
It would take quite a bit of patrolling and not marketing so much, but just kind of attracting the crowd through establishing who we are.
I think the most important part is making sure we hit the artists directly. My girlfriend's in the graphic design school, so whenever I'm walking around the graphic design building with her, I don't know about you guys, but I read every single poster that's up on the wall because they're so visually appealing, and there's actually like a slew of great ideas up there. So I think something that grabs like the young artist's eye and really makes them interested in Crossroads as an experience could really be beneficial.
And you think that automatically that if they join this unique event, the Crossroads Creative Bash, that if we handed them something like your last post, which I absolutely love the last line, strive to be an open canvas for the mind, that we could make the request and that they would just share that with their friends and get it out that way.
Yeah, because that was like when I was relating to my personal experience with it. That was like the first thing I did was I went to our Facebook page and I like shared it because I was like, oh, this is like awesome. And then that's how it kind of just spread. Like I said, I had a bunch of friends show up to it that I hadn't seen in a long time that were just into photography and stuff like that, as well as a lot of family just from that Facebook post.
So I have to manage time to make
That's
sure I
right.
get everybody
Good.
in, so, good.
Thank
Thank you, guys. Next up.